Alright, so we are back and we are on the F250 heavy duty again. This is a 1997. If you didn't watch the first video, there will be a link somewhere around in there with that right there, but we replaced all the front steering components on this. This is the heavy duty version, so it doesn't have a standard pitman arm and it doesn't have the idle arm on it. And this does have the twin I-beam front. But on this video, we're going to be doing the ball joints, upper and lowers on this. And I did leave the tie rod loose on this end if you go back and watch that video, just so I can make it easier for me. But I will go over every step of how to do it if you didn't change any of that. But let me get it jacked up, tire off, and get tools ready, and then we'll be right back. So first thing we're going to do, we do have the truck jacked up with a jack stand underneath there. Like I said, this is for the twin I-beam front suspension. This is a two-wheel drive also, and like I said, I did not tighten up this tie rod in from whenever I did the front suspension rebuild yesterday. So just take this tie rod off, take the nut. There should be a cotter pin in here also. Then use a hammer and you can, or a tie rod end tool, and take this out. Use a hammer, just hit it somewhere around in there. Now next thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and pull the brake caliper and bracket off. I believe this one right here uses a 21. Move y'all over to the other side. We're just going to take the caliper bracket bolts off. They should be 21 millimeters. And I'll see if I can get in here and take them off. And they torque down pretty tight. I don't know the torque specs right off hand because I've already done the driver's side. And as you can see, with the tie rod loose, you can actually move the wheel around. See if we can get that out of here. There we go. I'm just gonna hang it up on the spring perch. Alright, next thing I want to do, see where you are pointing at, but next thing I'm going to do is actually pull this rotor off, because you can't get your tool in here anyway to take the ball joint out without taking the rotor off, because the dust shield's in the way, and to get the dust shield off you have to take the rotor off as well. So the way we're going to take this rotor off is we'll knock this front dust cover off. This one, the last one I did, taps off pretty easy. There we go. And I'm going to repack all these bearings anyway, not the rear one, but at least the front one, and find out where the cotter pin is. Push it up, and we're going to put everything back into the little dust cap too. Should be a retainer over the nut, and I don't know, can't remember what size that nut is, but I have a crescent wrench. We'll just use that. These really don't have a torque specs, more of a preload setting on these style wheel bearings. This should be a retainer ring washer behind it, and your wheel bearing. There's your wheel bearing right there. Like I said, we're going to clean all this off anyway. And now, a little trick I can give y'all is, if you were replacing the rear bearing and seal, you can leave the nut on here, pull it out a little bit, and then whenever you get ready to pull the rotor off, you can snatch it back real hard and it will pull the bearing and the wheel seal off all at the same time, but we're not doing that because his isn't leaking, which his actually looks fairly decent in here. Oh, got a dirt dauber nest behind there. Alright, now let me move y'all once again. So on this video, I'm probably going to be moving y'all back and forth just so y'all can get all the vantage points of everything. Make sure that you can see everything on here. So right here, there's going to be a, I think they call it a spanner nut or something like that, or compression bolt or something. But this right here keeps the clamp pressure on this camber adjuster right here and the top ball joint. Now the top ball joint does not like screw in like the lower one does. It actually has like this camber plate, camber adjuster in here with a clamp bolt. And what size is that? Looks like it's about an 18. Yeah. So got to grab my 18, so I'm just going to try to hold it with this crescent wrench for now. And this thing's pretty crusty anyway. Each time whenever you get the ball joints, it comes with a new bolt. So just hang on to this one just in case it doesn't, if you haven't already got your ball joint kit yet. And then most of the time they should just come right out, but like I said, this one's got some dirt and stuff. Turn. Yeah, I'm with the thread this one out. There it goes. And it should be a lock nut on there, not just like a regular nut. Turn this to the side. Now this right here, you're going to have to get a screwdriver or a pry bar or something underneath there. See, oh wow, this one's coming out super easy. The one on the driver's side was kind of pain in the butt to get out. You may have to work it back and forth to get it to come out. That's all that it is. And it can only go in one way. Now you can see how that just moves around. Now we'll have to get this big nut right here off. It should have a cotter pin that goes through it. Right there. And on the other side it was a 28 millimeter. I'll do it from this side. And another reason I take the actual rotor off is that rotor is extremely heavy. Like with the spindle and the rotor and everything, it's probably a good 60-70 pounds right there. That rotor is extremely heavy. So I'm going to thread this off, and then whenever I get ready to knock it out to unseat the ball joint on the bottom, I will bring y'all back. Just this nut right here being kind of a pain in the butt just because of how crusty the threads are. Okay, got the nut all the way off. I'll put it back on a few threads because I'm going to use a pickle fork underneath here. Hit it so I can unseat it from the actual I-beam right here. And these right here in there are really good. So I'm going to have to beat on this for a while. And I do have like a wider pickle fork as well. Put it in here. And hammer away. There you go. You saw it drop down. Pick up on it a little bit, remove that, and there we go. Like I said, there's your nut. And we will clean all this up a little bit just so we got a good clean surface to go in. And here are your ball joints right there and right there. I'm gonna take it inside, put it on my vise so that y'all can see everything a little bit better. So I got it in the vise right here. We're gonna take these 3 bolts that hold this shield on. This should be 8 millimeters. They're a little crusty and they shouldn't be all that tight. Most of the time these come out without any issues. I know some of y'all in the colder climates may experience a little bit more. I mean, if y'all are working on 97, more than likely it was garage kept. Because this truck is pushing 30 years old, 30 years old. I think somewhere around there. I don't know. Can't math at the moment. Alright, and then that comes off. We're just going to set it to the side. And I'm going to set my bolts in there as well so we don't lose them. Now, got some spider webs and stuff on here. We're going to flip her over. So, I got her in the vise a different way now. There is a snap ring right here. Use a pair of snap ring pliers. Wow. It's not expecting it to come out that easy. So now you can use your ball joint press to press this out, but most of the time you can use a hammer and hammer on the bottom right here, and you should be able to get it out fairly easy. Let's see if we can have the same luck we did with the first one. I'm going to move y'all so I don't hit you with the hammer. I know I hit the face of it a little bit, but we can clean that up. That's not a big deal. I'll just go in there and touch it up and it should be fine. Now, to get the top one out, we're actually going to have to use our ball joint press. Find the best way to put this in the vise. Also, we have to actually go through the bottom hole to get to the ball joint on this. All right, let me get a rag. I'm gonna put it in the vise on the actual spindle part. So, like I said, we actually have to go through the bottom ball joint to press out the top ball joint. And I am using the medium cup with the through hole on the tool. That way it will come through for me. I'm gonna grab my impact now because I'm gonna make sure that I can get it out. All right, here we go. And just like that, it came out. Ball joint first, and we will thread this out. Come on. There's your upper ball joint. I don't know if y'all can hear that. The lower one wasn't as bad, but the top one moving around pretty good. Let me clean out this bore real quick with some Scotch-Brite, and I'll show you how I press these back in, because I'm gonna actually use my big press to put the lower one in, just because of how awkward it is to put in this bottom one with the kit that I have. Now, if you got the full ball joint kit, you should be able to do it no problem, but I don't have the correct adapter to do it on the bottom, so there's a way that I do it on the my regular press that goes in just fine. Also, I want to go ahead and show y'all the part numbers real quick before I put these in. The lower ball joint they're all Moog, so the lower one is K80027. This is it right here. I've already checked that it is the same as the other one. Then here's the upper one right there. Gotta keep everything together, and it does come with a new bolt. Part number K8432T. I thought that was 1 for a second. That's 32T.